Hello and welcome back to the Sysadmin Learning Roadmap series. In this video, we are going to begin with phase 1 of the roadmap, which is the foundation. So for phase 1, we are first of all going to set up static IP address on the server. We'll also proceed to rename the server to a name such as DC1, domain controller 1. And with domain controller, we'll get to understand what it is in a different phase of the roadmap. The third activity would be to set a remote desktop protocol on the server, which is a protocol on Windows that allows users to be able to remotely access other computers on the network. With the roadmap outlined, let's go to the virtual machine. Let's enable full screen mode. For all three activities, we are going to need Server Manager. So I head over to my Start menu and select Server Manager. Since this is our first time of opening Server Manager, let me give a brief walkthrough of what it is. So Server Manager is a tool or suite that allows you to manage all the servers at once. So once you open it, you have the dashboard that shows you the local server as well as all the servers. The local server is basically what we are signed into at the moment. That's the local server. And if you had any other server that you attached to this local server, it would show in all servers. So if I should go to all servers at the moment, you would see that the local server is the only server that's listed there at the moment. I'm going to click on local server and we can begin with the activities. For the first activity, we are going to set a static IP address for the server, and that way it makes it possible for all devices that are on the network to be able to locate the server because it uses the static IP instead of a dynamic one. Under Ethernet, I'm going to select IPv4 address. Right click on Ethernet and select Properties. Click on IPv4 and select Properties. At the moment, we can see the server is using a dynamic IP address, and so it's going to obtain the IP address automatically. So click on Use Following IP Address and input the static IP address we want the server to use. The subnet mask is going to be filled automatically, and then we need to input the default gateway, which is usually the IP address of the router. For DNS server address, we are going to use 8.8.8.8 for now, so that we are able to access the internet if we want to do so. Later on, we will change it to the IP address of the local host. Click on OK and close. If we want to be sure the IP address has been applied, we can open command prompt and type ipconfig. What the command does is to list out all the network cards as well as its IP addresses. We can see the IP address of the Ethernet adapter has been updated. For the next activity, we are going to change the computer name. So we click here, click on change, and input the new computer name. Then we click on OK. We will need to restart the computer for the changes to apply. I would want to restart later for us to proceed with activity 3, which is to turn on remote desktop protocol. We have remote desktop here, which is disabled. Click on it and toggle allow remote connections to this computer. Click on OK. I will deselect NLA and OK. Now we can restart the PC. The server is done restarting and we can see the computer name has been applied. Also, you have the Ethernet IP address, static IP address, which has been set. What we want to do next is to connect remotely to the server. And so I'm going to go to the host PC and search for RDP. In the computer field, I'm going to provide the static IP address of the server and connect. Alright, we can see it has thrown an error to us. So let's try to resolve the issue. The first thing I would like us to check is to ensure that for the network interface type, we change it from NAT to bridged adapter. This option allows the VM to be able to connect to the internet as well as allowing both the host PC and then the VM to communicate. For the name dropdown, we are going to select the interface card that the router has been connected to. Mind you, we selected a default gateway, which is supposed to be the router's IP address. And so we need to select the card interface that router is connected to. So in my case, that's the first one. And then I click on OK. With that configured, I would like to also go to command prompt and try to ping the default gateway or the IP address of the router to see if I'm able to access it. We see that the server is able to ping the default gateway. Now let's go back to the host PC, back to RDP, and then I try to connect again. By default, RDP will try to use your host username to connect to the server. But since we currently don't have this username on the server, what I'm going to do is to select more choices, click use a different account, and provide a username that belongs to the server. I click on OK. Since the VM does not have a certificate, that's how come we have this warning coming. I'm going to click on yes to proceed. And we are in. We are able to remotely connect to the server via the RDP. If you've come this far, I want to thank you very much for watching the video. In case you have run into any issues that you need assistance with, just let me know in the comment section. And until next time, see you in the next video.